normally I don't talk about amendments till like March, late March, but this year we seem to have, I've gotten a lot of calls about amendments because of all the different things that happened in the last couple of years. So people are amending left and right. In fact, a little later, if he's on the call here, he's going to be my last subject. He had a question, and I was just going to put that out to you guys. But so I decided to go ahead and start talking about amendments earlier this year. So basically, you can file amended electronically. That's the first thing for 2019, 20, and 21. Okay. It's called the 1040X. Okay. And so you can file them electronically. You can also mail them in as well. But obviously, if you are e-filing, remember, if you have more than 10 paid preparers, you're considered a professional tax preparer. And so you can electronically file it. What are some of the reasons, okay, to file electronically, to file an amended return? Oh, I'm sorry. What are some of the reasons that a person would not be able to file electronically? Okay. Amended returns can, like I said, can be filed paper or return. A lot of folks are amending prior year returns on paper, and that's because they either don't know or they don't have the facility to electronically file, so they file an amended paper. Okay. And how many amended returns can you file electronically? You can file up to 3 accepted amended returns. After the 3rd amended returns, all subsequent attempts will be rejected. So you'll get a reject on the 4th one. And I'm not sure what the reject code is, but there'll be a reject on that. You can amend again 2019, 2020, 2021. And you can also amend the senior returns. Has anybody seen the senior returns? I'm not even sure if it's out yet. Anybody seen them? No? And right now, currently, the normal processing time is up to 16 weeks to get some sort of status on your amended return. Okay, 16 weeks, that's 4 months. So that's after tax season ends, hopefully. Okay. What forms are required with an electronically filed amended return? Okay, both the electronic 1040 and the 1040 SR amended returns will require submission of all necessary forms and schedules as if they were the original 1040 or 1040 SR submission, even though some forms may have no adjustments. Okay. What's a senior return? A senior return, Maria, is the return has larger fonts, larger print. Okay. It's the same return, but it's for senior folks, I guess. So that's what that is. Okay. Is the limit per client per year? It's per, whether it's a client or a family, it's per person, three amendments. Okay. Okay. Andy didn't know it was 16 weeks. Okay. When you electronically file the 1040X, do you have to file the 8879 as well? A new form 8879 is required each time an amended 1040 or 1040 SR is electronically filed. Are 2 8879s required when filing an electronic amended return? Yes, one for the 1040X and one for the amended 1040. Okay, only one form is required for both of them. When electronically filing amended returns, if a field on the Form 1040 amended return is blank, should the corresponding field on the 1040X amended return also be blank, or should a 0 be entered? For electronically filed amended returns, if an amount in a field on the 1040 or 1040 SR is blank, then the corresponding field on the 1040X must also be left blank. If there is 0 in a field on the Form 1040 or 1040 SR, then the corresponding field on the Form 1040X must also contain a 0. Is direct deposit available for electronically filed Form 1040X? Direct deposits are not allowed at this time for amended returns. Can a Form 888 allocation of refund be filed with an amended return. Part 2 of the Form 8888 states that don't attach the Form 8888 to the Form 1040X. A refund on an amended return can directly be deposited to an account or used to buy savings bonds. Where do I mail a paper check for an electronic amended return? And should I use the Form 1040V payment voucher? A Form 1040V payment voucher should be used when mailing a paper check for payment made on an electronically filed amended return. Use the 1040V instructions, which provide the mailing address for sending paper checks. How can I check the status of my electronic filed amended return? You can go to Where's My Amended Return at the irs.gov. Online tool to check the status of your amended return. And how soon will Where's My Amended Return application be updated for checking the status of an electronically filed amended return? They can check the status of paper electronically in about 3 weeks after filing the return. Okay, and the tools, it's available in English and Spanish. It says Peosha has been waiting for an amendment since May. Why, Peosha?
Everything has been backed up. So I've been checking. It hasn't even been, I was checking the online site like you just mentioned. I mailed it out May 17th, I believe. It just came up on the site in November.
Wow.
So, and on the site, it says to call in. And basically when you call in, it's to tell you that they're behind and that they haven't processed that, they've only received it.
Interesting. So are they checking in as they get the return? Do you know? Like like on a list or something, so that those people will not get a nasty letter from the IRS?
I have no idea, but I just know that when I spoke to a representative, she said that it hasn't been processed yet. They're behind and to just keep checking. So the once that was updated, she was saying that I believe she said it wouldn't even be updated again. I would have to call, but I'm just like, I'm assuming that it's going to be one of those things where it's going to be a surprise and a check is going to pop up in the mail or something like that, because this is so crazy.
Interesting.
Peosha, Chino, I have a question. Was that a mailed-in amended return or electronically filed?
Mailed, and I could not electronically file it because the one disclaimer that prevents you from e-filing the 1040 is when you're changing from one filing status to the next. The form states that you can't e-file that type of return. So I had no choice but to mail it in. So that's for a mailed return.
What do you guys think about, when the IRS shut down and you couldn't electronically file for their maintenance period? And if you mailed a tax return, probably should have just waited till they came back online for electronically filing, but do you think that you should submit it now electronically, even though it's been mailed?
No, don't do it again. So in other words, you mailed it previously?
Yeah, I mailed it just during the shutdown here in December.
Yeah, unless somebody else has a different answer, I would not do that. It would probably confuse the IRS. They could be looking at it right now, and then all of a sudden they get an electronic one, and I wouldn't do that. I would let it go. I would just let them take care of it, and hopefully, it'll get done this year.
One of the risks I have with a client was they wound up being a $10,000 fine because they waited 2 months.
Wow. Did they fight it though?
Yeah, I wrote an abatement letter basically arguing that they couldn't find their PIN ID, for the ID theft.
Right.
They didn't realize it until last minute, so there's nothing I could do.
But you haven't heard back yet though, right?
No, I haven't heard back on the abatement. My argument there was the fact that at this point, waiting the 2 weeks and electronically processing it would have been much more efficient and a lot less burden on the IRS than if I'd mailed it in And given her job, she needed to have it recorded. So it would have recorded faster since I listed 3 other people I'd mailed them in because of this ID issue back in April. And a year later, they hadn't even been filed yet, processed yet.
Wow.
So I
What
didn't
a
know the
mess.
examples.
Yeah. Lydia has a question. Can you talk about superseded returns? How do you do those? When you're talking about superseded tax returns, Lydia, what are you talking about?
So I heard in one of my CPE events that if you file a return and a change comes up before they process the return, you can file one more over it and like mark it as superseded so that you can correct it without having to amend it. I didn't know if anyone's ever done that and how it would work.
Yeah, my flaw, this is just me, but I'm against that. I always want everything to be completed, and then we can do another amendment. But I think Sean has another thing going. Sean, what?
Well, I was gonna say I did it once because I did amended return and the IRS rejected it. So I had to go back to the States. I converted someone from married jointly or married single, filing separately to joint, same bunch of money. IRS rejected the return. So for the States, they actually required it to be a superseded return, not an amended return. So going back to the original. And
Okay.
drafted it with a cover letter
Andy
and a
mentioned
copy.
that Lydia is correct. And because he said we did a training on that with Tanya Baber. So I guess you could do it. All the years that I've been in business, I always waited till it was completed, but we never had these problems that we're having like the last 2 years. I mean, if you did you did an amendment, a couple weeks later, you would know what the status of it was. So we didn't have these problems.
Yeah. The issue that arose, like in my case, is it's a very simple thing. A client really wanted to get their return done, brought their paperwork in, we filed it, sent it off, and then he received a W-2 that he didn't give me, and it came later. So now the thing is, it would be better for us maybe just to wait till the return gets processed and he gets his refund instead of trying to supersede and hold up the refund. I'm just not sure, like, if anyone's ever done it, if it just confuses the IRS or,
Yeah, I think Andy's done it. Andy, you want to say anything about that? Is he still here? Okay. That's the way, that's, Sean had his word, and I still believe in mine. Andy, are you there? Okay. So anyway, it's okay to do it, Lydia. If you want to do it, I think personally, I will continue what I'm doing. But it's okay. It's legal to do it. So,
okay.
All
Great.
right.
Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. So this is the best and fastest way to get information about your amended return is either to go, where's my amended return, or call the toll-free number 866-464-2050. The application has the most up-to-date information available. Can I get status of an amended return for multiple tax years? Yes, you can go to where's my amended return. You can get the status of your current tax year and the 3 prior tax years. Okay. How can I get confirmation that they have received your amended return? You go to where's my amended return, and it should be posted there. Has anybody tried that, by the way? Anybody going to where's my amended return? Payosha, did you do that?
Yes, I did. I mentioned that I mailed it in May, and then I kept checking and finally it appeared in November.
Okay,
And
what was the
for a
status?
mailed return. That's for a mail return, and it said call this number. And when I called the number, it said that it was to tell me that they received the amendment return, but it was not processed yet. And when I spoke to the rep, she said she didn't know when it was going to be processed because they were short-staffed and they were behind. But they just wanted to let me know that they received it.
I got it. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Let's see. What did I miss here, Stan? Okay, 16 weeks, but we're hearing obviously that's taken longer than 16 weeks. And
But
let's see.
Glenn,
Yeah,
I mailed mine. So if someone does it electronically, maybe it might take 16 weeks, but I mailed mine until this day that the amendment hasn't been processed. So
okay.
we're going to be going on a year soon. But I had no choice to mail mine because I was changing filing statuses.
Okay. All righty. So at the bottom, you'll see the irs.gov place where you can find more information about it if you want to know more about amendments. But it sounds like it really isn't working the way it's supposed to be.